and welcome to QuiltNCode. It's so good to see you this afternoon. Nothing special in the mug today. It's just a special mug. So I have some delightful coffee in my Leaving Iowa mug. This was a wonderful experience in my life where I got to be a part of a Parkway Playhouse play that only had 6 characters, so it was quite the adventure. I had a lot of lines to memorize and it was fantastic. While I was in that play, Leaving Iowa is all about a family that's traveling in the car for a vacation, and I was yelling at my stage family, and so my children liked the fact that we were in the play season because I wasn't yelling at them. So we always talk about that as, that was a quiet month, Mom, because you were yelling at your stage children instead of us. Anyway, I don't yell at my children very often. So this is my Leaving Iowa mug today. I hope that you have a wonderful beverage that you have brought to our Rejuvenating Stitches time. So we have been working with the Stripology ruler. And so I have been focusing on using the Master Your Stripology ruler book. And so you can see that in the little camera there. And then I've been, for this particular project, using the Stripology squared ruler. And so if you have just joined me for this designing adventure, this is the Stripology that I have been using primarily for this project. And so hopefully this is it for this particular project. I realized while we were doing this project that I was really loving some of the smaller, I was using scraps, and I was really loving some of these smaller scraps that I was getting and little things I was making. For instance, I made, let me see if I can move it over here so that you can see it a little bit better. I made flying geese, and I've made some 9 patches, and over here you can see that, I don't know what we'd call these, trapezoids. I've made these wonderful trapezoids over here, and so this is my pocket. And so my trapezoids really do go longer. It's like I feel like I kind of wanted to move them up, but that's okay. We're done now. So this is the pocket for my notebook cover. And so today I wanted to finish that notebook cover. So you can see how, while I didn't have you, I have sort of filled out this space with my 9 patches and attached them here to my flying geese. And then down here I have another, I was just like, I want to use everything I have. And so I have one more of these, and I'm like, okay, surely you can fit down here, right? So it's gotta go down here somewhere. So I'm going to show you how I have been fitting everything in so that you can see what's going on. And so I am just adding fabric, so almost like a quilt as you go. I'm just sort of adding fabric as I go. And so I don't have any batting on this, but that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm sort of doing a quilt as you go project. I love this little strip here, but I will be honest with you. The reason why I sort of did that little strip was because I just didn't have enough to go all the way down. And it looks like I do have enough to go all the way down now. And so if I start it, it's very tight. So I think what I'll do is I'll add a little bit to it. And that way I can go all the way up to here, because I think I'm going to be cutting that off to put that into there. And so I think, and the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to get a little strip down here. And so if I get this little strip here, and then I put this guy in here, I think we're going to be almost done. And so let's do 2 things. First of all, I want to go ahead and show you how I did this part. So this part right here, I sort of had this guy hanging out here that I wanted in. And so I just put pieces onto either side of him and then stitched it to this part so that I was lining up and you can see how I nested my seams right in there, and let the rest of it go. And then this part, I just did a triangle and stuck that right on there. Okay, and so that is the top half of it, and that is completely done. My pocket, I feel pretty good with, although I kind of want to have another of these salmon strips, and so I actually might use this salmon strip right here to get that because I kind of wanted a little bit more color in there before I went the other way. So I want to do that on both sides. Okay, cool. So I am going to go ahead first and I will stitch this salmon strip to the pocket, and that way that's done. And that way I know where I'm lying up. All right. And I have been using bigger strips and then cutting everything down. That allows me to get things to a smaller size without having to work with smaller pieces of fabric. It's like anyone can work with an inch piece of fabric. When you get to the ½ inch, that gets a little bit more difficult. And so right now this is an inch. I might knock this down though, depending on how I want it to fit in. All right. Okay, so I got that. And then I think what I'm going to do is make myself another inch strip so that I can put that on the other one. So I'm going to bring out my Stripology. I got a lot of stuff here today. Like, I've been sewing. I don't know if you, who else like makes a mess and spreads out on their sewing room? I am terrible. I just can't keep anything clean. Okay, so this thing's already 1.5 inches. I'm going to knock it down to 1 inch. Doop, doop, doop. And then this one might be longer. Let's check and see if it was longer and can fit all the way to that end. Maybe, maybe not. It might go. It might go. So let's just go ahead and stick it on there. I can always add more later. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm just adding fabric. That's how quilting goes. You just continue to add fabric.
You take perfectly good fabric, cut it up, and put it back together.
Right? And quilts, it's like, you know, you think that you're going to have a twin-sized quilt and you end up with the queen in the end because you just kept adding, oh, it didn't look big enough. Oh, it didn't look big enough. Now, like, I remember I was working on a quilt and I thought it was a wall hanging. Oh, I've had 2 quilts like that where I was working on them. And then, you know, I mean, one of them was hanging on the wall in the picture. And so I had myself convinced the whole time that it was a wall hanging, but it was going together. It was weird. It was really different than what I'd ever done before. And it was going together in strips instead of rows. And so I'm sewing away, and my daughter was in the other room, and I was like, Rebecca, come in here and hold the other end of this strip. Oh my gosh. I was like, I don't think this is a wall hanging. So that was a very interesting experience. And I don't think I went up high enough with this. So that will be an interesting experience. We need like a twizzle camera so that Lainey can just twizzle it when I move. All right, so, okay. Now I'm gonna bring in my pink here because this is the lining of my project. And so I'm kind of using this as my base so that I can tell, you know, okay, I'm getting close on where my fabric needs to go and that type of thing. Okay, see, that covered just fine down there, which means I probably need to rip it and move it up a little bit, but not yet. Not until I figure out so y'all are truly seeing my design phase. I am simply using scraps and putting these scraps together to see where they land and what they're doing and that type of thing. And that needs to be way over here. So sure enough, this is getting way too close. Wonder if I can turn that a little bit more that way. And so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trim these down 1/4 of an inch. This one and this one. And that will just give me a little bit more to play with here. And I now have like this, it's already on here, so I have a nice big piece to work with. Time to change the blade in this rotary cutter. Get out there. Well, I'm not trimming much off of this one. Okay. So we got you, we got you. Now we have this little guy right here. And I kind of want this little guy to go this direction. So I'm going to do that same method that I had before in putting something here and here. And then let's see, what other little pieces do I have hanging out here that I could do something with? Look, I have a half square triangle. Do I have another half square triangle somewhere around here? Oh, look, wouldn't that be fun? That's like two. But I like it, so I might have to straighten that out because that's kind of fun. I might just have to straighten that out. Let's see what happens if I straighten that out. I love working with scraps because this project is already done. I've already done this project. And, you know, this stuff was just sitting on the shelf, and it has been for 2 years. And so it's like, okay, so this is kind of neat being able to do something with this, and it is not quite big enough. Of course it's not. So that won't work, but it was a cool idea. So it's like, what else could I do here? I don't know. Okay. So I think I'm going to stick with adding on to this one forward and back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by, this is actually a 2 7/8. It finished as a 2 7/8 or a 2 3/4 block. So I'm going to do 2 3/4 here. Actually, I'm going to do the 2 7/8. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do the 2 7/8 because 2 3/4 wouldn't give me enough. If it really is the 2 7/8. I remember it being kind of wonky when we were, I think it was the 3/4 that was just getting me. So if I can cut down, I cannot add fabric. So we've had a rough week here. We had spectrum issues. We had, which, I mean, like, that's, everybody is talking about it. It's not even here, just in Western North Carolina. It's everybody is talking about spectrum issues. And so we had spectrum issues. We had, let's see, where do I want you? Kind of want you. And then we had, it's just been one of those weeks, man, where you're sort of like, okay, I'm done now. I can be done now. See if this will give me enough. Laney's like, this is just so totally not mathematically made.
You're just
right?
freehanding that, huh?
I am. Like, it's a rough time. I'm just designing, and I mean, if I have to make a pattern, then I need to know everything exact. But just have fun with fabric. Play with fabric. Especially when you're, you know, you've got this gorgeous fabric that you're not going to do anything else with. There wasn't enough to even make a pillow or anything like that. It was just scrap. It was a great opportunity to get to play with a new concept that just blossomed into something that was crazy. And it's going to turn out so pretty eventually. And it's okay to just throw fabric together and see how it looks. So I really do want to make sure, let's see, I think I want to knock you down to here. I really do want to make sure that this is going to get into my thing. And that I'm sort of lining up. Okay, here we go. You are perfect. So you line up right there. I'll move that over there so you can sort of see. And then you over here are lined up kind of over here. Yeah, it's a kind of thing. It's all good. And then you are going to go here. And I want you to go there. So there's just not really much left here. So I think I am going to go ahead and finish this baby up. And so I want to make sure though that I've got you lined back up where I want you. So I want you like that. So it sort of gives that look like my, it sort of gives the look that I really did have a plan, ha ha ha, with my 9 patches. That this wasn't just a random put together, there was a plan with the 9 patches. The one part is a little bit offset, and that's okay. Switch. Laney's not paying any attention, so I'm switching. Hopefully everything's looking right. Oh, you've got it on both of them, okay. Huh?
You're all over the place.
I am today, I am. That's just how it is. I made a bag yesterday because I'm designing a bag for a new fabric that's coming in. It's called Georgia, and it's a mode of fabric, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And so I'm designing a bag for it, and it should be here any day now. So I've been late on getting my bag design, and so I was working on my bag design yesterday, and so the place was all blue. We had blue everywhere up here as I was trying to get that, and then I took it downstairs and I was like, okay, what do I need to change? What do I need to do? Oh, that is just so cool. Okay. So cool. You can't see it now. I'm sorry. Here we go. All right. That's perfect. It's going to be right in there with my, so when I've cut that down and sewn that down, that's going to be great. And then pockets over here like this. All right. So we just need a little bit right there. I'm going to chop a little bit off down here. See if I can fit this in here. No, of course not. Oh, no, 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 of course not. Yeah, maybe. I just need a better angle. And then maybe. We'll try it and see if it works. So next week, our lives are going to change a bit for the month of August. We have a lot going on in August with our upcoming Janome dealership kickoff in the end of August. And so we've got a lot of stuff where we're away for several weeks and that type of thing. So our lives are going to change a bit. Will be taking over a couple of them. He's got a couple of things he's going to demonstrate. And Hanky Challenge we're about ready to finish up the table runner, so we'll be finishing that up. So there's a lot of stuff coming in August. Excellent. There we go. Iron that open. I keep wanting to grab my coffee mug over here.
Your coffee might
This
be warm,
strip
but
ended
I
up
don't
a
think it's
little
warm enough.
bigger than I thought it would. But I think it's fine. Because this one's going to be big too, so I think it's great. Okay, so now I have from here to here. Okay. And I want to get this on here like that. And so we're going to just straighten this out right here. So we have a nice straight edge with which to play with. Can I go that way? Or do I need to go more that way? It's like not quite what I want, but it's okay. I'm going to go that way. We're going to try it, and if I have to take it out, I will. Really need a new blade. All right. So when I was doing my kids camp, we made like 5, 6, 7 notebook covers because they're super easy to make with kids. I mean, I wouldn't start with one that you're designing like this, but I did have one student that designed a whole bunch of applique on hers, learned how to do applique at the age of 10, and must have appliqued about 10 different pieces on her notebook cover. I had another student that added numerous pockets and another student that added handles. And so there's just, you know, limitless possibilities for what you can do with these. And it's just, it gives you a creative outlet to be able to use different things. Oh my gosh, all my strips are the different sizes. That's the, yeah. I'm going to cover something up with embellishment. It's going to happen in just a minute. Okay, let's get you ironed down. I think I've got everybody else ironed down. Oh wait, not you. There we go. Oh wait, not you. Go that direction. I think. Yeah. All right, go that direction. Okay. All right, cool. So now I can play with just a little bit of embellishment because I have some fun ribbon and I have some fun butterflies. And so I can put some fun ribbon and some fun butterflies on here. And so I think I am going to go down like that and down like that. And that'll probably be good. So I'm going to switch over to my my invisible thread here. My invisible thread is missing, probably because Mom needed it downstairs. So I'm going to switch to, I'm going to switch to my pink. And the reason why is just because I'm getting ready to like do a zigzag and I want to make sure that it's not too visible what I'm doing. I'm not worried about the bottom thread. It is white and it's going to be fine in the bottom. It's not going to pull up or anything. This is a And if it does, then I can switch to a finer thread. So I'm going to switch to zigzag. And I'm going to start with this one right here because that one is going to go into this one and I want to make sure that I can hide that later. And the other thing I'll do is I'll put some, when I'm all done, I will put some fray check on that just so that I know it's all good. All right, so, oh, and in steps Mom with the invisible thread, the magic of live TV. So I think the pink's going to be okay, though. We're going to try it, and if it's not, I'll switch. Okay, so I am having an issue with just getting it to stay up. There you go. And I'm going to stick her under there, and I'm going to tack first. And then I'm not quite sure where I'm going to end up. And so it's sort of like I want to just make sure everything's good, especially with the spot that I can hide. Okay. And so now I am eyeballing it going down the center right here. And I think I'm actually going to increase my stitch length. I'm just holding this down. I don't need for this to be super tight. I think I might have broken my thread. Did I break my thread? I think I broke my thread. I had my little scissors. Where'd they go? Right! Sarah made me this gorgeous little thing to keep all my stuff in, and I still can't. Looks like my thread caught underneath. There we go. And I did not. Oh, it got caught. See, that's why I keep my threads down here. Because they spin and they get caught. There we go. I think on every single live I have to change my thread. You can see on the back how it sort of gathered up just a little bit because it was caught up here, but that's going to be fine. And so where did I stop? I stopped right about there. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to tack it down. And then I can keep going. I love how I can keep that needle down. I'm so excited I get to use some of my embellishment stuff. I haven't been able to use these ribbons and I've had them forever. Oh, it's so cute. Look. And you can't even see the pink thread. It's all good. All right, so now I can go from top to bottom, and that will help hide that little edge right there. So I could put this on by hand, but why would you want to when you can do instant gratification sewing? I am definitely an instant gratification sewer. She's having a little bit of problems at the beginning getting started, so I'm just going to help her out a little bit. Come on. You got this. There she goes. My ribbon wants to shift. And now I'm coming on that junction where I'm meeting that other one. So I'm going to hand wheel this. That's a lot of stuff to go through. Anytime you're doing zippers or anything like that, you know, take your time going over those spaces and use your hand wheel. It's your friend. That may be instant gratification, but I want to do it right and not have to do it over again. I have so much stuff here. I'm like, am I really sewing just this? My little ribbon is shifting. Go back that way. There you go. I might have to put a butterfly there. Oh my gosh. Like, it's too cute. What have I been waiting for all my life? Okay, so now I have these little butterflies all mixed in here with this. And so I think that these I will actually put on by hand. And I'm also thinking that I want to, like, they're supposed to go together. Like, it even has like little beads in here. But I think what I want to do is this. I kind of want to make them go together like that. So let me get a needle. I only need one. I have these sequins too I could put on here. Oh, I need to. I don't have nearly enough light for my little eyes anymore. And you would never guess it in this room. That little pink thread blending right in with my hand. Go on. Do what you're supposed to. Look at that. What? I'm going to put several on here, but I'm going to go ahead and get this done and I can do that afterwards. So let me show you how to finish your notebook cover. Let me see, let me just tack this so that you don't fall off and I know exactly where I wanted you. So the secret to putting your layers together, I am actually going to iron this down just a little bit more because once I put the lace on there, it decided it was going to crumple up a little bit, and that's fine. It's going to be just fine. So what I do is I'm going to place this down because I need to trim it up. So I'm going to place this down, and I'm placing it down just so that it's so that I can see when I go to trim everything up, because I'm going to trim according to my lining, because my lining was cut to the exact measurement of what I wanted for my notebook, okay? And I know that over here, my pocket was about as exact as I could get it. And so I really want to keep that over there as good as I can, okay? And so, see if this rotary blade is any better. Stay. Do what you're supposed to. So the secret to putting your notebook cover together is the way you place your layers. You're going to start with your lining. So I have my lining down here, and then I'm going to put my pockets. So I have one pocket on the inside for the right side, and I have one pocket on this side. And then I'm going to place wait a minute. Am I doing that right? Yes, I'm doing it right. And then you want to place your batting. And you could have quilted at this point your front. I am not quilting anything today. I am just going to go for it. But doing that, anytime you do this, you want to definitely pin really good. So I am using plenty of pins, preferably not sticking my own fingers multiple times. Nope. Yep. I had my pocket upside down. I could feel the layers of fabric I was going through, and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Oh, my pocket's upside down. Try this again. Down here at the very bottom, I put 2 pins where I want to keep, where I want to stop, and where I want to go. I'm having a really tough time with these pins today. I have thrown away about 3 pins. I don't know whether they're dull or what, but I'm not messing with these anymore.
You certainly reused them for a long time.
Well, and I wonder if this is the set that maybe I had for the board or something. We have a design wall, and maybe I had those for the design wall only, and it's like, okay. Because they are terrible today. Maybe it's just my fingers. Okay. Final step. All right, so I am going to start right here where these 2 pins are, and I'm actually going to turn this thing over because I want to be able to see where my lining is. And so I'm going to start with these 2 pins. And I'm actually going to do a 3/8 of an inch seam around it because that way I gave myself plenty to be able to do that. That way I can make sure, I want to change threads too. That way I can make sure that the that everything gets caught in there. And so I don't want to do a 1/4 of an inch and then have to go back and do more and do more. So I go ahead and do a 3/8 of an inch, and that catches everything for the most part. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go back and check because there are layers here of batting and fabric, and we want to make sure that we have caught everything. And there's no reason to do a smaller seam when I can just add on a little fabric at the beginning. Come on. So when I get to this corner, I'm just going to pivot. I like to put my needle in when I pivot, and that way my fabric doesn't go anywhere. I don't lose any stitches. So I'm hearing a little clicking in my needle. When you're hearing a little clicking in your needle, that is a 95% chance that you need to change your needle. So if I were gonna do a whole bunch more, I would change my needle before I went any further. Because pretty soon all that clicking is gonna lead to skipped stitches and other issues that I don't need to deal with. I probably hit a pin, or I just haven't changed it in a while. How many of us are guilty of that? I did hit a pin this morning, not on this machine, but on another machine I hit a pin. Been a while since I hit a pin, and I was like, oh, those little dollar needles. I had to change one in that machine. It's only $1, but still. We're so stingy when it comes to sewing machine needles. All right, now that I'm coming to the end, I'm going to go backwards and forwards a little bit. I'm like right on the little rows there. So there we go. Now I'm going to go backwards and forwards. That way I'm not turning with the... All right, so you can tell right here that I've got a lot of excess over here, but if I look underneath, I have caught everything, and that's what I'm looking for. I want to make sure that I have caught everything. I am a little tight right there, but I've caught it. And so there's a lot of stuff here, so I want to just make sure that I've caught everything. So make sure I got all the other stuff. Yep. Otherwise, I will have to like, oh, I was making sure I got that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I'm just going to use scissors to trim off some of this excess. And I like to trim my corners. Just gives a little bit easier turn when you go to turn your cover. I am not going to trim too much right here. I just want to get a little bit of it because I want to make sure I have plenty of fabric there to when I turn. There's a lot of stuff here. Feel it with these scissors. Okay, wait a minute. I got that corner. I got that corner. I did not get this corner. There we go. I think I'm going to need to vacuum this room now that I'm done with this project. All right. Let's see what happens when we turn her inside out. When you turn her inside out, go for the farthest corner and then bring it on out. And at first, those little flaps are going to be doing the wrong thing. And you're going to be like, no, I did it wrong. I do it every time. All right. See how this flap is on the wrong side? Well, you just have to flip it over. It happens every time. And I'm like, oh, I did this completely wrong. And there is the notebook cover. Okay, let me get the notebook. Here's my notebook. Moment of truth. Does it fit? So let's see. All right. Perfecto. Fits perfectly. Oh, okay. So now that I know that it's good, I have got it all finished. It looks really good on my notebook. I don't have to go in and, sometimes you might have to, if it's too tight, you can go back and rip a little bit. So I would definitely work out these corners just a little bit more, but I want to show you how I'm going to finish it. So I am going to just fold that in, and it's folding in without me even having to iron. It's just gorgeous. Okay. And then I like to pin, I said that and then it started coming out. Oh, well. So I like to pin the way it's going to go into the machine. That way I can pull them as I go. And then I just do a little bitty stitch really close to the edge to close that up. And I do at the very beginning. It's going to be hard because I'm going over that rose border, or that rose. I do at the very beginning, do a little tacking stitch forward and backward. And then you see having the pins in like that keeps everything closed, ready to go. I can just follow this on and then close that up. Do a little forward, backward, tack it up. Get rid of all the little threads. And there she goes. That is just delightful. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to put a few more butterflies in here. I need to tighten those down. I'm going to go back and put a few butterflies in here, and just because I can, and then she'll be done. And so thank you so much for joining me for this awesome, today we were just finishing, we've been working with that Stripology and trying to figure out what we could do with these things. And so that's it. So I have a notebook cover, and I think Lanny has a link to a notebook cover PDF that I have on the website, or you can go to our website to find it. It's a free. It's not perfect because I'm new at designing, but that's okay. And, remember, you can always give yourself a little bit of extra fabric, and that will help out. And so I hope you will join us we're getting ready to have totally different schedule over the next couple weeks. So watch for Sunday's announcement on Instagram, Facebook to find out when we'll be going live for next week. And for the month of August, we'll just be playing it by ear as we do our traveling and that type of thing. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful beverage with you that you can toast with me, that you have a wonderful rest of the day, and that you continue to follow, like, subscribe, and all that other social media stuff to help keep us going. And so we will see you very soon in the near future. Thanks for joining.